Killer7 was recently announced to be coming to Steam later this year, so I wanted to make a video just kind of pleading people to try it. So I'm going to do you a favor and explain exactly why you need to at least give it a shot. If you do find your way to this video and have no idea what Killer7 is at all, I'm going to give you a short list of reasons why you should play it and the kind of people this game is for. So if you enjoyed No More Heroes or the other works of Suda51, play this game. If you enjoy the music of the underrated Masafumi Takeda, composer of many Suda games and the Danganronpa series, play this game. If you enjoy wild, over-the-top Japanese antics, play this game. And if you want to play a game I can say with 100% confidence is unlike anything you've ever experienced before, play this game. If any of that sparks any bit of interest to you, stop this video and prepare to wait for Killer7 to come out. It's one of those games that'd be best if you didn't know much about it. Now, for most of you who won't just take my word for it, I'll be going into a minor spoiler reasoning as to why you should give this game a shot. So let's just get right into it.
Well, may the Lord smile.
And the devil have mercy.
Killer7 released in 2005 for the GameCube as part of the infamous Capcom 5. A series of 5 games Capcom were going to release exclusively for the GameCube that all eventually were ported to other consoles.
いろいろ説明する前に映像を見ていただいた方がいいと思うんで、まず映像の方を。Thank you.
It's directed by the man himself, Suda51, along with the other man himself, Shinji Mikami. The basic premise goes something like this. You are an assassin, Harmon Smith, who has the ability to project other personalities into the real world to perform hits for the US government. The plot can be a mess of politics and philosophies, similar to something you'd get in a Metal Gear game, except several more degrees absurd if you could believe that. That's all I really want to say as far as the plot goes, because I do want to keep this as spoiler-free as I can. But I will say it goes far beyond what I just laid out for you. The characters and world of Killer7 are unique, nonsensical at times, and really showcases Suda's talent for direction. This game is up there with Persona 5 in terms of sheer style, the camera angles, the spectacular death animations for the enemies, and the characters who all have their own quirks and general lunacy. Characters like Susie, a detached head giving you puzzle items on top of being generally creepy. Master Smith, the luchador-wearing bullet headbutter. And your floating, bondage gear-wearing, often snarky advisor, Iwazaru. Are a good general view of the kinds of characters you can expect from this game. Even more oddball than the game's characters and world are is the way the game plays. The best way I can describe it is a genre-bending mix of survival horror, rail shooting, and puzzle solving, all topped off with a beautiful presentation. The game is on rails, but you do control your character. You press A to walk, use B to turn around, and can select various paths with the analog stick when they come up. This may all sound a little clunky and strange, but you really do begin to feel comfortable with it pretty quickly. The game has a very survival horror-like design, usually a large building with many doors. Some are locked and you must find keys and solve puzzles to progress through them. In addition to keys, each of the Killer7 have different actions to complete different kinds of puzzles. The combat is something akin to a rail shooter version of Resident Evil 4. You have to stop in order to go into your aiming mode, and instead of the Plagas, your enemies are the Heaven Smile, which also look very similar to the Regenerators from Resident Evil 4. They come in many varieties and have varying weaker points for an easier kill. I think the way the game controls allows for a lot of liberty to make unique dynamic camera angles. Of course, Silent Hill and Resident Evil are known for some legendary camera shots constantly changing from room to room, allowing the director to create angles to obscure things and give a stronger sense of claustrophobia in some cases. In those games, however, shifting camera angles can cause issues with maneuvering around the map. Killer7 ignores this entirely by you only being able to walk in 2 directions, but also allowing you branching trees to walk through other rooms. I will say that the dynamic camera angles can cause some confusion when moving from room to room, but all it takes is a quick glance at the map to get a sense of where you are and where you're trying to go. And that's as much as I want to give away. If any part of what I said clicked with you, please check out this game when it comes to Steam, or just play it on Dolphin, I won't tell anyone. I'd like to believe that as an industry we can look at a game like Killer7 for what it's always been, a shining star, bursting with unique ideas amongst a crowd of games that are content to rip ideas from one another until they build the perfect game. Instead of criticizing its unconventional ways, we could put something like this on a pedestal. Killer7 is, in my humble opinion, by far the best game Suda51 has ever touched. The other games featuring his name always feature a few issues, despite also being games you should definitely check out. I didn't really enjoy the combat of No More Heroes. Sure, it was stylish as hell, but it was boring and easy. Killer7 manages to not only be graced by Suda's talents as a writer and director, but also some thought-out, genuinely clever game design. If you've gone this long without playing Killer7, please really consider buying it. It'll be an experience like no other. And that concludes why you should play Killer7. But I'd also like to take some time to sort of give some quick tips for jumping into the game for the first time. So, number 1, when you hear a laugh, that means an enemy is nearby. And what that means is you need to stop and scan the room immediately. Number 2, you need to hit the enemy's weak points. The enemies move too fast and have too much health for you to even take on 3 of them at one time without hitting a few weak points. Number 3, on top of weak points having greater damage outputs, they also give you more blood than normally killing an enemy. The blood you gain from enemies is used in the TV room where you can use them to level up the personalities, normally boosting their strength, speed, and giving you new abilities. First, you must give the blood to this guy, and then you will be able to use it on your characters. Number 4, I'd recommend trying out all the characters as soon as possible, as you will be needing to switch between them often, so might as well get used to them now. Number 5, after you die, you have to use Garcia and Smith to go reclaim the dead body so you can summon that personality again. If you die as Garcian, that is a true game over. I'd recommend picking up a personality right as it dies so you can just get it over with, but you are able to die as all the other personalities without a true game over. Number 6, make sure to pay close attention to your surroundings. As I said, the dynamic camera angles can make it a little hard to keep track of your place in the world. Number 7, make sure to explore every room on your way to minimize backtracking for puzzle items, which you will have to do at some points. And finally, number 8, don't be afraid to use a guide. Killer7 can be steeped into absurd survival horror game logic at times, and finding puzzle pieces can be tedious at certain points. So if you do find yourself stuck, look up a guide. Personally, I'd recommend the one IGN has, which I've linked in the description below. And that ends my tips for Killer7. I think these are what you'll need if you've been having any issues, and I hope they help. So with that, thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, please share, like, and subscribe, and feel free to check out some of my other videos which I have on screen now. And with that, thanks again everybody, and have a good one.